Welcome everyone to the Bounce Off. This is me, P, and my girl V.
What up? Why
We're
did I
so
sing
excited.
that? I was like
I don't know.
sing-songy.
I like it though.
Thanks.
You have like a different thing every time. It keeps it fresh. Okay, I want to spend all of 2 seconds on this, which is that we are getting the two sports documentaries that nobody wanted. And this is coming from your girl who lives for a sports doc. But I do not want to have anything to do with either the Scotty Scheffler or the Aaron. What is his name? I don't even know his name. Done. He is.
Oh,
He's
Aaron
forgot.
Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers. I'm so glad I forgot his name because I don't want to think about that
I
guy ever again.
fucking wish I forgot his name. Lucky.
You reminded me of his name, thank you. But like it said like it's gonna be about his like the clip of it is like him meditating and it's gonna be about the controversies. And I was like, yes, I think we do need to be reminded of the controversies, but I don't want it to be from his perspective. I don't need to hear
Correct.
him speak on it.
The point of the controversies is not to amplify his voice in the
Correct.
controversies.
It's to amplify his being asinine and irresponsible.
Correct, because he's wrong in every
He's
single one of them.
he's absolutely bonkers. And
Oh my
Scotty Scheffler,
God.
like, could we choose the most boring golfer to do a documentary on? Not that I don't have love for him, but I just don't want that. I don't care.
I'm actually wondering who is that one for? Do you know what I mean? Like the population of people who will watch a golf sports documentary, let alone on a non-engaging player.
Do you think that there's a cross section of these two audiences?
That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah, it sort of seems like it, right? And what we're not saying is
Just, just fucking say it. P, come on, we're 40 now. We can say whatever the fuck we want.
I will just call them the Elon Musk demographic.
Oh my God, that's almost too kind. That's almost putting it too kindly. I bet you that that's the case,
Yeah.
truthfully. I can't think of any female identifying person who gives a shit about either of those. Even if it's like there's nothing to watch, the title comes up on my Netflix. What am I? No, I'm gonna watch like a Gilmore Girls rerun
Right, right.
over.
Maybe if you're like a Christian anti-vaxxer, then
Which,
then there's your slice.
oh fuck me, man. You know, it's so interesting because I always wonder, like someone like Aaron Rodgers, are they giving him the sports stock because they know he's such a fucking idiot, but he sees it as, oh my God, I can't wait. Like they're
Yeah,
featuring
my
me because I'm such a
platform.
great player.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
you always really wonder, like the director has an idea of who they're featuring. They're not an idiot, are they? Like,
Well, now you're making me curious about how they're gonna frame it, but ugh.
if
Bleh.
you
All
if
right.
you watch one episode, I'll watch one episode.
I really hope it's just a feature length, not multiple episodes. But
Ah, fuck
yeah,
it. It's like a bad drug. Like if
I know. I don't want to talk about this anymore.
okay, fair. Can we
You do one.
let's do a palate cleanser.
Yeah,
Okay, you know my love for women's sports. You know my love for data. So can I just tell you
I'm here for your data.
the two integrate in the coolest fucking way this week? Okay, I'm gonna give a shout out to this company. I'm really hoping they're not run by an asshole, but they're called Kitman Labs.
Okay.
And here's the deal. The way that we in sports make sure that athletes can prevent injury, that there's more safety, that equipment fits well, we have to study athletes' bodies. We have to study biomechanics. We have to study the physical differences. And if I can just say very confidently, the standard is men's bodies. Everything is based on that. So the deal here is the hypothesis is female athletes are actually getting injured more frequently. And are they getting injured because the data that we're basing so much of our training protocols on, our equipment on, our rehab and recovery techniques, is that because they're actually based on the male body? So Kitman Labs is coming in and they've signed a partnership with the National Women's Soccer League. And actually, Angel City is one of the teams that's like participating in some of these research studies with their bodies, essentially,
Oh,
so
cool.
that they can study like what are the unique physiological factors that women have that require different approaches. So this includes everything from, of course, hormone fluctuations, our muscle composition, our biomechanics. And actually menstrual cycles are a big part of what they're talking about, as you and I spoke about a couple episodes ago. So the idea here though is when we don't have this tailored kind of data, it does mean that we're not using evidence-based protocols with these female athletes. We are potentially jeopardizing their development, their longevity in sport. So one stat that I know for sure is that female athletes experience higher rates of ACL injuries.
Oh,
And a lot of biomechanic experts say, yeah, it's because women have differences in their joint structure
yeah.
and in their muscle activation patterns. So, of course that's going to happen. Why are we using male-based injury prevention strategies?
I also just discovered that estrogen deficiency can cause not only muscle loss, but tendon weakness.
Here, like,
Yeah.
and what are we doing to make sure that these athletes can endure years of their sport when we're not probably considering that, to be honest?
Hmm.
And here's the thing, like if a lot of us who know this shit about the research gap with women, this is like a duh moment. Like we know this
Yeah.
when it comes to reproductive health, when it comes to cancer trials, when it comes to car safety. Like I remember learning that women are more likely to get injured in car accidents because the crash test dummies they use are like an average male body.
Wait, I read something just this week that was on this same thread, which is that women are less likely to respond to CPR because CPR dummies are male body based, and like women have breasts, and those administering CPR are often thrown off by the breasts.
Dude, we're so fucked. Like
Yeah.
Like where I would love if someone has one category where actually we're used as the standard or like research has been more conducted on. So anyway, they are trying to centralize medical and performance data now based on quote unquote average women's bodies for sports. And the reason why I think this is fucking dope is because I can recognize, and a theme that's been in our podcast for so many episodes is it trickles down to youth athletics,
Hmm.
right? So if we can learn what those protocols are, think about what we can then apply to younger female athletes. It gives them more of a chance of being longer lasting in the sport, of developing their skill set, of recovering and rehabbing. Fuck, think about how many women's bodies have paid the price just because we have researched men. I was pissed off by it, but then I was like super pumped by it. And now I'm so curious, like, how are they gonna? Because yes, these are professional athletes, but if you and I get a leg injury, wouldn't it be so cool to know that our rehabilitation program is catered to us because we know that we have different joints or different muscular composition? Fuck.
Yeah,
Like your
I
knees,
know.
remember your knees, P?
My
Like,
knees. And I asked my doctor is such a good endocrinologist. Every time I have a question, he has such smart answers. But I asked him about this tendinopathy thing for estrogen deficiency, and he's like, I don't know enough about that. And I was like, fuck.
God damn it, who does?
Yeah,
Fuck.
where am I supposed to go then?
And this is, well, you're highlighting a problem, which is always ends up on our shoulders to do our own fucking research and advocacy
Yeah,
to bring shit to light, which makes me wonder how many of these players have also had to advocate to be like, no, dude, like the thing you're doing on my knee right now, it's not
it's
working. It's
not
not
working.
helping. I mean, this is just the start, right? At least the first time I know of a team and a lab team that's committed to addressing this. But holy shit, just think about the injuries, career-ending injuries, the things that have happened that probably can
Yeah.
avoid it. Anyway, I
Well,
just thought it's worth mentioning.
it is worth mentioning, and I also have some redeeming stats for you to redeem golf. I don't know if you saw, there was a recent boardroom article about the changing landscape of golf, and they featured this new apparel brand called Eastside Golf, which was founded by two black men. And like one of them told this story of like he wasn't allowed into a country club because his jogger pants didn't have belt loops on them.
Uh,
So like
fuck, that is just like a goddamn country club,
I
honestly.
know country clubs have always really skeeved me out. Like I wasn't let into one because of I was wearing denim and I was just going there for like a casual lunch and like there have been several that I've walked into that I'm like I feel like whatever physical sensation of not belonging is right now
Yeah,
because
are they like modern day like plantation? Like
yeah, it's
honestly, they
kind
give
of
that feel like I'm in the owner's house.
well, certainly Augusta is probably still that,
Oh my
but
God, yeah.
the cool thing about this is that so a couple of names, athletic names that are big in Pallavi and Dan's household, Cece Sabathia and Victor Cruz are two people who have been golfing in this gear and feel like this kinship with this company. And Victor Cruz in particular was talking about how he discovered that being a golfer can add years to a professional athlete's career because he's finding that the relationships built on the course make you a more appealing to leadership, to the owners, and in the locker room.
Isn't that the truth?
It's the truth, and it's like something that a lot of people have not had access to as an opportunity for decades.
Business, I mean, it's a joke, but people say like business deals are made on the golf course. And
Exactly.
I mean,
But
I'll just
then,
tell you, when I'm being a beer cart girl, I got a scholarship by working as a beer cart girl.
what do you
Like,
mean?
like one of the regulars at our club worked for like a foundation, and one day we got to talking as I gave him his cigar that he purchased. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to apply for grad schools and whatever. And then he told me about a scholarship and he invited me over for dinner with him and his wife and his family and like helped me complete the scholarship application.
Oh my God.
And it's just from being on the
From
golf course
golf.
and talking.
See, so some numbers that I thought were wild. There are 45 million amateurs that play golf and 6 million millennials in the US.
What?
I know, isn't that wild? Because they were like, this isn't a boomer thing anymore, because that's a lot of millennials
That,
in the American country.
I feel like I don't know any of them. 6 million?
I know several, but they're all dudes.
Yes, they're all dudes. Ah, fuck, I gave up golf. I just want to go back. God damn
I
it.
know. I feel like we gotta go do it now.
Yeah, yeah, yes, god damn it. Wearing our East Side golf gear.
East Side Golf, me and V. Wait, okay, I have one last thing for you that I think you'll appreciate. I don't even, this is another one that I want to spend 2 seconds on, but I'm bringing it up because it's the cross section of hip hop and sports.
Oh, oh.
If you
Mm.
consider WWE to be sports.
Wait. That is a hot take, Pete.
Look, I just find the whole WWE and like the whole McMahon machine to be very cabalistic and it gives me the heebie-jeebies. But Netflix is debuting Monday Night Raw in January, and they have brought Travis Scott on to
Oh.
debut a new theme song, and he's also been releasing new music, kind of, I think, in conjunction with this.
Okay, so this is clearly to attract a younger fan base because I consider
Or
WWE
like
old school shit. You know what I mean?
old school, and also like maybe more people of color.
Yes, for sure. I mean, Travis Scott, didn't he pair up with like anyway, I feel like he's done some like pioneering shit with his music. This is not the first time. Fortnite. He did it with Fortnite shit.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool,
And
Travis. Okay, so he's appealing to nerds.
I think that might be a part of his base.
I love that for him.
I do too, actually, because truthfully, I'm not a Travis Scott fan. I mean, I don't listen to his jams. I know some of them. But this brings up two things. One, which is we know that like crossover of sports and music is always huge. Like
Hmm.
he's using it to clearly promote his thing. But the WWE, when I think about trying to attract a younger fan base, you and I both like it's acting, right? Like that's the entertainment
Hmm.
part of it. I can't imagine anyone in these newer generations buying and eating that shit up. Like I just
Hmm.
it's It's beyond that. So it makes me wonder, are they rebranding in a whole other way? Not just with this music, but now with Netflix, and what is it going to look like now? So I have to be honest, Pete, I'm kind of intrigued. Kind of want to see
Yeah.
what it's going to be.
I mean, fine.
I might check it out. Okay, Pete, you know that I love nothing more than when life kicks
Hands
Tom
you
Brady,
lemons. Oh.
kicks Tom Brady in the balls. Oh my God, it keeps getting better, P. So this week, okay, do you know that like YouTube, since like he's a star, I think he makes the most money on YouTube, Mr. Beast. Have you heard of that
I
guy, that
have heard
account?
of this, yes.
Yeah, okay. So anyway, he has a video series where he allows like the average fan to compete against a professional athlete and has money for them. So he has like Noah Lyles is on it, and someone sprints versus Noah Lyles, and Ronaldo, Bryson DeChambeau is the golfer, and Tom
Oh.
Brady.
Oh God.
So there's this high school football quarterback named Jake, and he competes against Tom Brady. And part of what they have to do is they have to pop 4 balloons on a field by throwing a football
Whoa, that's hard.
so hard, and the balloons are placed, increasingly farther away. The furthest balloon was like 50 yards away. To make it a more fair matchup, Tom Brady's balloons are smaller than what the high schooler gets.
Okay.
So his require more precision. However, that kid beat Tom Brady. He popped more balloons and he won $100,000.
Amazing.
And to see Tom Brady lose, I know that motherfucker's competitive. I don't care if it's a high
Yeah.
schooler or
He
not.
wants to beat that kid.
Oh my, you can actually just tell as he's losing progressively through their competition, like, this dude, I don't think is doing well, P.
No,
Like,
no.
like life is just not giving him some breaks. Not that he needs it, and I have no fucking pity for him whatsoever. But I loved watching him lose, and I just felt like this was worth mentioning all the time when I see Tom Brady lose.
Did you see Eli Manning's troll of him?
Did I ever?
It was like fishing photos. And I just think that Eli Manning gets like lifetime trolling rights. Because then, okay, so Tom Brady posted a fish, and then Eli posted a bigger fish, being like, cute minnow, Tom. And then Tom like clapped back with like this esoteric, like Dan had to explain it to me. It was like a reference to like a catch that happened in a game that was maybe a little bit disputable. Like, did you catch that with your helmet too? And it like referred to this play that happened that I guess people think was like a lucky catch. But it's like, wow, like he had to dig deep, or like that's
Yes.
been on his mind for like 15
15
years.
years.
And he's just like, anytime someone trolls him, he's like, yeah, but what about that one time?
He just sits in his living room alone.
No, I mean, you don't think he's fucking girls?
He is, but it's like the ones he pays for. No, I don't know. I'm spreading rumors, but
Until
like
we get sued for defamation.
Okay, wait. There's just like one thing I'm really, really pumped about that I want to gift our listeners and gift to you, P. And it's the first time I'm doing this on our podcast. And it's like a mini.
Are you gonna rap right now?
Oh, Jesus Christ. I fucking wish.
Sorry.
This is my very first fan guide, and I'll post this on our Insta as well. But it is to the PWHL, so the Professional Women's Hockey League, second season just started. And it is worth, I just want everyone here to fucking just watch at least one game. The first season was an immense success. Crazy viewership, crazy attendance records. Wow, who'd have thought? Like, you build it, then they come. In the off season, they got a really huge jersey partnership with Bauer, and they got a multi-year partnership with EA Sports, which is dope because that means PWHL players are going to be in NHL 25.
In the games? Oh, cool.
Which is a big, just like PR media coverage piece for them. Now, what's also really cool is much like the NHL had the original six, the PWHL also has it's called the original six.
Okay.
3 US, 3 Canada. So Toronto, Montreal, Ottawa, and Boston, Minnesota, and New York.
I don't like the representation, but okay.
We're just starting, Pete. It's just the origin.
Okay.
We're just starting. Now, the part I think you might like is the like billionaire owner of the LA Dodgers, Mark
Mm-hmm.
Walter. He
Mm-hmm.
he owns this league and he also owns all 6 teams, P. So,
Holy shit.
so there are no individual team owners in this league.
Oh, that's kind of cool. It's like a league of their own.
Yeah. Yeah, like it's I don't know. I've never really seen this model. Like I don't know if it's great or not.
Yeah, like will it be a conflict of interest or can they just like then be free to like play their games?
I don't
Yeah. Or
know.
like if he becomes insolvent, then does like the whole league is under threat.
This is yeah, there's probably pros and cons to both of it. Does even the playing field though.
Yeah. Wait, you made a guide on this?
I'm going to be making a guide that
Okay.
I'll publish because I really do want folks to watch. So Billie Jean King, our girl, is on the advisory
Yep.
board.
Yep.
So the teams will each play 30 regular seasons. That's up from 24 last year. Some of the teams have moved to bigger venues because they just need to accommodate bigger attendance numbers.
Great.
The thing that applies to mostly to me, not to I don't think this year, is they're trying to do this takeover tour. So play 9 games in neutral cities, really try to expose the game.
Okay, I like
Um,
that.
yeah, so like Buffalo, Denver, Seattle, Vancouver, Edmonton, they're getting games there. Pete,
Yeah,
I
smart.
went to go purchase tickets for the Vancouver game. It's sold out, dude.
Shut up!
Yeah, like this shit is hot, hot, hot. I want to tell you, like it's a big deal. Last year, okay, so last year people would watch games on YouTube. This year in Canada, it has national broadcasting rights. So TSN, which is like our ESPN, Prime Video is airing Tuesday night games. This is my request to y'all. Give it one game. These women are incredible. They're world-class hockey athletes. And I just like fucking can't wait for this season. So I'm going to put out a fan guide to get you at least a primer and in the know on how to start getting into this season. All right, y'all. Well, welcome to the podcast. We had P's husband Dan. Now this week we're featuring my husband. You all know him as me, referring to him as Berto. We should just go by your full name, Roberto Samaron. So this we're continuing our fan series, and in particular, P and I are really curious about an experience that you have had as a fan, and I will say can still continue to have as a fan. And that is what happens when you're a diehard fan of a franchise and then the franchise moves cities, y'all. Oh
Yeesh.
my God. Okay,
Yeesh, indeed.
so listen, babe, here's where we really want to start. How did you even become a Chargers fan in San Diego? Like, how does that happen?
I think I recall it's probably around seventh grade, sixth, seventh grade. As you Canadians would say, grade seven. Um,
Yeah, he did the thing.
I got a switch, you know. The Chargers were, I believe, getting into the playoffs. And my dad had always had like, first off, foremost, my dad was a fan of football, but he was a Cowboys fan. He's from
I don't, I,
Texas.
oh, he's from Texas. Okay.
Yeah, he's
I
from
don't understand people in other cities who have no ties to Texas who are Cowboys fans, but your dad
Correct.
has ties to
Yes.
Texas.
yeah, he was born and raised
Legit
in
reason.
Texas.
Okay.
But having lived and raised family in San Diego, he was also a San Diego fan. And it kind of works out nicely because they're in different divisions. I remember, it was always like a get people over and in San Diego as well. It's typically warm all the way up until the Super Bowl, essentially. So, it's like kind of saw the cookouts and like a hangout and like my dad's colleagues and friends would come over. What's funny? And V freaking hates that I still have this
Oh, Jesus Christ,
this
P, you're getting
beanie.
a inside look to our marriage, okay? What
You
do
know
I
which one I'm
hate?
talking about, babe. The beanie that's kind of an old knit San Diego Chargers. It's yellow and blue. It
Course,
feels
of
super
course I do.
acrylic and
Of
crusty.
course
That
I do.
sounds
I
right.
love that
Yeah.
thing.
So, okay, so your fandom comes from, I mean, you clearly have positive memories
Childhood
associated.
memories.
Yeah,
Mhm.
childhood memories, family, it's a social gathering, which is interestingly how I also really got into football and into sports is the community and the social aspect of it. But this is where it makes it even tougher then, I would say, for you as a fan, because you grow up with this. You get all this merchandise as a kid. You have all these photos growing up. You're rocking it. You learn the San Diego Superchargers. You know the song. There's this news that drops. How did you first learn or hear that the Chargers were possibly going to be moving to another city?
Okay, so let's back up a little bit in the history of the San Diego Superchargers.
Yes, please. Oh, is that the full name of this team?
Not the Superchargers, but they have a song. It's a really cool song. Whoever wants to go and listen to it, it's out there. It's the San
Really
Diego
cool.
Superchargers song. It's pretty
Okay.
catchy. The team has been first, they're from LA. The San Diego Chargers are
Oh, they were originally. Oh, I didn't know
originally
that.
from LA.
What?
The first emblem they have is the LA Chargers. And it's the horse
What?
with a lightning bolt through the charger, through the horse, right?
Oh, that's kind of
A little
sick.
fun fact.
I didn't know
Wait, do
that.
you know when they moved?
I think it was like 67, I want to say.
Oh,
Like it
Whoa.
was, I think
Blew my
their
mind.
first,
my mind is also blown.
Yeah, seriously.
What? How many teams have been in LA and then left and came? Oh, that's fucking crazy.
Well, you left
so
LA and then you
I
went
think
back.
the first,
Not the same
they're
thing at all.
not the same thing,
You
but
just can't stay away, I
I
guess.
feel you just can't. But so like in the 60s or like in 50, they were in 59 was when they were in Los Angeles. And the very next year
Okay.
they began to play in 61, sorry, in 61, they moved to San Diego because I think LA was getting the Rams or they were getting another one, and there was a market down in San Diego. The fan base is very Latino oriented, so there's that whole culture that worked really well with LA, San Diego.
Yeah.
But the Chargers had a very tough time having a following like you would, like say the Packers or like the Raiders or like the Lions, you know, like teams that really had the entire city to back it. There was at the time a very strong Charger following in San Diego, bars, restaurants, cars with, you know, flags all over it, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, every car. I lived there for 5 years
Yeah.
and every car had that little curvy
Yeah,
lightning
yeah.
bolt on it. Yeah.
Yeah, and still to this day, I still think the Chargers uniform, I'm biased because it's my team, but hands down, it's been, you know, voted on for many, many years, and it consistently is the #1 best looking uniform in the NFL.
Okay,
It's
babe, I'm
pretty,
gonna fact check that, but okay.
check it. Voted on by players, by sports enthusiasts, by spectators, whatever.
We need the
Um,
Vogue magazine take.
yeah, and
Okay, so they moved to LA or moved from LA in the 60s. They've had decades long of a struggle getting a really strong fan base.
they've had a really strong fan base, but keep in mind this: San Diego is probably the biggest transplant city in the United States. More people go to San Diego from all over the country to San Diego for military, for aeronautical engineering, just like, you know, the city
Biotech.
itself, it's
Yeah.
biotech is huge. So you have people, put it this way, Chargers are probably the only team that get maybe 2 or 3 home games. By
What do you
that, I
mean? Yeah,
mean,
yeah, what do you mean?
when they play the Raiders, half or more than half the stadium is Raider fans. When they play the
Oh.
Broncos, when they play the Steelers, more than half the fans are
Ooh.
Steeler fans there. So it's rare that they play a home game where they really have the entire fan base,
Home
you
fan
know,
base.
behind them.
Which
Yeah.
is also probably why they never updated Qualcomm Stadium.
Yeah, so back to that point, exactly. And it had been like 12 plus years in the works of like the Spanos family trying to get a stadium deal done with the city. And I mean, after 12 years, it's either shit or get off the pot.
I remember that there were a lot of attempts to try to get the city of San Diego to basically fund a new stadium, right?
Downtown,
Downtown. So they try to get
because
voters to
because
vote on
of
a measure.
Petco.
Petco Park was downtown. They revamped like Little Italy and the gas lamp.
Yep.
They revamped the whole area. The convention center was
harbor
down there,
site.
had been redone,
Yeah.
the harbor site. So they really wanted to push for like a walkable, you know, bus line, that kind of a thing downtown. It was going to cost them $1.8 billion to get it done. And the city wanted, almost in a way, the way the Packers have the fans have ownership into that team. I don't know if you're aware of that. The Packers, you can buy stock and you're a part owner. So when they have owner meetings, you get a link, you get to sit in and listen to
It's
and
the whole
vote,
stadium. Yeah, the whole stadium has their board meetings.
Wow.
which is really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's the only team that has that, if I'm not mistaken. But so they've been battling this out with the city for a long time. They couldn't get a deal done. Then they were like, well, okay, if we can't get it done downtown, well, maybe we do it in the same Fashion Valley area, revamp
Hmm.
it. It's close to San Diego State. They couldn't get that deal done. And kind of in a spiteful kind of like, well, fuck you then, SD. They had to pay $550 million, the Spanos family, $550 million to relocate back to LA. And that was like that $550 million would have just like pushed the stadium to get done in San Diego. But after
Yeah.
all the 12 years of trying to get it done, they were like, you know what?
Spite.
Fuck you guys.
So
Ah.
that's what led them to LA in
That's why they moved to
2020.
LA. And they made a
Okay.
deal with the Rams coming back. If we can join and make
Share
a joint
stadiums.
stadium. Yeah.
That's good
It's
context.
yeah. So there it's a contentious, it wasn't like example, if you were a Packers fan and you had that and they're just the ownership just decided to like, I'm over the NFL, I'm selling it to Portland, Oregon. People would be like, fuck, what the
Yeah.
fuck, and it would
Yeah.
just be a different kind of a feel. But this is like, we kind of always knew it was looming. It did not pass. And they just kind of said, fuck it, we're out of here. We get a
Okay.
better opportunity in LA with a bigger market.
So
Okay,
are
but
the
let me
fans
go
like
for it, Pete.
are the fans like understanding of that? You're saying that people sort of saw it looming and so they maybe expected it, but where do you think the fans were sitting in terms of what they wanted and how they felt about that decision?
I think the fans were first and foremost like just fucking figure it out so we can have a team. But they also and it had been on ballots, it had been, like something that was voted on. It would increase a lot of like hotel taxes and all these other things for the city to involve themselves in it. So increasing night stay, increasing there's going to be a substantial jump around the whole area that will help pay for it. They voted against it. I'll tell you straight up right now, Charger fans are like, fuck off, fuck you guys, burn it all.
Because it really came down to a battle with the Chargers and the city of San Diego. And so like when it
Correct.
comes to that, San
Correct.
Diegans are going to ride or die for SD.
Absolutely. From a lot of my boys down in SD, I mean, a lot of them were like, fuck this team. They literally burnt their jerseys. They like, kind of like posted, they were
Wow.
just pissed. They were just like pissed. They don't have
Yeah.
a team anymore.
Wait, there's this so San Diego is like the center of microbreweries in America. It's like
Hmm.
known for it. And they also started doing things like meaderies. And I went to this
Yeah.
meadery and became obsessed with this one that they made that was called Bolt Fan Blues.
Oh,
And I
nice.
at first I was like, what does that mean? And then I was like, oh fuck, it's because of the Chargers. Oh shit, like this runs deep.
Yeah, no, it was really part of their culture. I'm still a Charger fan to answer you, so if that's looming. My school of thought, well, first when I kind of left that team for maybe one season, I started following the 49ers because I was living in San Francisco, and that's has been my NFC team is, my team in the AFC is the Chargers.
Okay.
NFC team is for sure the Niners. I've been living in San Francisco for, a long time.
Okay, but is that
So
just you justifying really switching your allegiance to another team? Do you know what I mean? Like, if you're a fan, you're just saying that everyone was so tied to San Diego, ride or die San Diego, the team leaves, that's still your hometown and still your identity. I get
You
that you
still have that sticker on your car
you
because you
still
can't
have
peel those fucking things off.
that fucking
I
crusty
know, right?
ass beanie, like you still have them.
Yeah,
So did you ever consider just completely switching your allegiance to another team?
I did. I had all my stuff like kind of in a box because I was gonna donate it or whatever.
It's like when you're breaking up with an ex and you're like,
Donate
here's
it.
your shit, throw it
Yo,
on the
you
front
guys, it's like
lawn.
a
Fuck you.
it's like a fucking it's honestly like a tumultuous relationship, like an abusive relationship. It's the powder blue, it's the jersey, it's the whole like look of what the Charger team that I fucking love their unis. I saw the second season in LA. I happened to catch a game. I forget where it was. It was on TV, and I just couldn't catch my eye. I couldn't stop not looking at it. And I was like,
Mm.
fuck, I can't. There's in a sports bar, if the Niners game was on and the Chargers game was on to the left, I was not paying attention to the Niner game at all. And I was like, what the fuck's going on with my
It's
Chargers?
in your
So then I
DNA,
started,
yeah.
yeah,
Wait, how much does it hurt? Like, as an Angelino who is well aware of what people think of my city, how much does it hurt your heart that your team ended up there?
It doesn't hurt too bad. You know,
That's nice.
it's the reason why is because one, there's still a tie to it. It was an LA team in the beginning.
Okay, that's very fair.
And San
Very
Diego
fair
and
of
LA
you.
have had their kind of sister brother, you know, relationship in a lot of ways, like
Yeah.
the basketball team Clippers. Yeah, there was San Diego Clippers, and then they moved to LA. I would put it this way, I would have been a lot more disappointed if they moved out of California and to a different state somewhere, and it's just no tie. At least it's close
Okay.
enough to LA and San Diego, that Orange County, Southern California, still got that vibe, you know.
We're like in
So
the same family still.
yeah, absolutely. We're still, you know, distant cousins. I'm okay with that.
So I want to ask both of you what you remember because you were both living in the Bay Area when the Raiders were doing their move, right?
Mhm.
I'm really curious about if you noticed talk about that and like the vibe in the city around that team's move to Vegas.
I
Well,
can jump in.
I have a lot to say, which is the first thing I will say is when the move from Oakland to Vegas was even proposed, of course, much like we're talking with the Chargers, it always came down to money.
Mm-hmm.
And what I would say for better for worse is it helped at least your hardcore NFL fan really look up and realize this is just one big corporation. And I think it helped people get a little bit out of the entertainment part of the sports and realize like, holy fuck, there's like some deep dark shit here
Mm.
underneath every single game. There's that one piece. Two is I would say for some of the Raiders fans that we know who were hardcore, there was still this feeling of, well, there's like a fuck you to the owners, certainly. And I would say that I don't think that the fan community in Oakland has held on in the way that I think initially maybe people were saying, fuck it, we're still going to do it. I think many people have moved on.
I think those weren't fans. I think those were
Mm.
bandwagon, like yeah, those were people that are like, oh, cool, it's in my city. All right, cool. I'll jump on and play and be a part of it,
Hmm.
right?
Oh, so
I
to
see
you, the
that.
definition of a fan is you hold on and you don't move on.
Like that's your team.
So that is what I appreciate. I wish my friends in SD and like, you know, some of them have, I'm not saying all of them, but like I really wished they just said, fuck off. I'm a Chargers fan. I bleed blue. That's my powder blues. That's my green, my blue and gold. That's it. If they're fucking in Kansas, I'm a Chargers Kansas fan. You know, that's one thing that the Raider fans just hands down do not let go. You're a Raiders fan, no matter if you're in LA, Oakland, Las Vegas, they would still be fucking diehard Raider fans. They
Okay.
don't let go of that identity.
It does
And
help
the
though that
Charger
Raiders
fans,
gear and Raiders merch is so fucking cool though.
It's cool. I have my
it is.
LA Raiders. I have like a lot of LA Raiders stuff.
Sorry.
How come that's not allowed? We were just
You
having a
crossed the
moment.
line, P. You crossed the line. You fucked
Oh
up.
man, you already had me
Wait.
talking enough about the Raiders.
Well, so
No, I'm just
that
kidding.
Berto, I think that aligns though with something that V and I talk about a lot, which is that there's a lot of reasons to be a fan of a team, childhood, family, the city, but a lot of times we love teams for how they play, what they're standing for, what players are on the team now, and what makes the game exciting to watch. And so you're saying that being a Chargers fan isn't really about the city anymore for you. It's about just truly loving the team, what they look like, and what they've just kind of always been to you. And that's
That's a part of it. There's the players. Chargers have typically had pretty good like quarterbacks, have had really like iconic players throughout their history, from Junior Seau to Ronnie Harrison to Philip Rivers to Dan Fouts and Antonio Gates and like just now Justin Herbert and Derwin
yeah.
James, and like they have these players that are
Mm-hmm.
any team in the league would drop most of their players forward and say, I'd take that guy. There's a big component to branding your franchise. And there's another one that's just like, I like your franchise. By
Mm-hmm.
branding, that includes that includes the team having to win Super Bowls. It has a dynasty feel to it. It has to have like a legacy. Like our team doesn't quit. Our team doesn't fumble on the last fucking drive with a minute left. It's like a known thing is charging it. it's a fucking known term that they use in the NFL is when
Oh,
they get in the fourth quarter and they have the opportunity to win, they fucking fumble something and it's just they lose the game.
oh
They
no.
So I had a softball dinner to go to, like from a league, the end of the year party and awards banquet kind of a thing. And it was the playoff game. I'm like, you guys, I'm gonna finish the playoff game and I'll come see you. And quite a few of our other teammates are like, fuck yeah, we're watching this game. Some guys that had loved sports betting were with me and were with us, and they were watching the game, and they were like, fuck yeah. Chargers were up at halftime, even the third quarter, 27-0, 27-3. And they were fucking clapping and like, fuck yeah, dude. I just made like $600 on this one bet. I'm like kind of biting my nails, going like, dude, don't count that money.
Yeah, you're like, should I
And
tell
they're like,
him?
well, get the fuck out of here, dude. I'm telling you right now, they're gonna charge it. And they had no idea what I'm talking. I'm like, they're gonna fucking charge it. It's gonna be close. It's gonna come down to the wire. They're gonna charge it. And sure the fuck enough, they end up losing that game.
Oh my God, they blew a 20-point lead to the Jags.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
but to your point, what you're saying though,
So
Bass, for a fan, when your franchise moves, it does make a difference if they're like a dynasty franchise that they've been
absolutely,
like heralded as this
absolutely.
incredible team and there's statues and freeways named after whatever, like that would mean something different if that organization moved to a different city versus the Chargers, which you're saying did not have at all that historical importance.
I think they are, along with maybe one other team, that have the longest drought for getting to a Super Bowl. San Diego itself is not a championship city. They get to
Mm.
the big show, but they never win them.
Mhm.
They've done it in baseball, they've done it in football, in
And
any other sports.
to be honest, I bet that's why the city also decided not to invest in them and that
Right. If
stadium.
they're not
Like,
bringing home a championship, like,
yeah.
but also, like, Dan was also saying this, like, sometimes those Super Bowl wins can be kind of fleeting, right? Like, the Giants had their win in the 2012 Super Bowl and then never again. And so, like, in 2012, it probably would have been real easy to be like, this is my dynasty team. And now, 12 years later, it's probably easy to be like, fuck them, I don't care, move to Minnesota or whatever.
Because your fandom really comes from this like sweet association of childhood and your dad and having people over and watching the game. Do you experience that same positive vibe when you watch a Chargers game now, even as an adult and as a dad?
I would if I was fucking Canadians would watch the Chargers and support them much. Fuckers.
No.
Okay, we're really poking at
Like,
some
I think
sensitive
that
shit
you
Yeah.
here
could
now.
be, but you could be that guy, Berto, to create the Chargers fan
There's
community.
I know there's a couple Charger fans, and if I had more time, and like Sundays are rough now since I have a little girl, I
Yeah.
don't get a chance to watch full games and do that. I had moved to San Francisco. I would watch in a local pub or whatever, Charger games, and then sure enough, the following year more Charger fans showed up, and then next thing you know is that we met, kind of talked to all of them, and we were like, let's start a web page on Facebook that's Danny Coyle
Webpage.
Superchargers. So we
Oh,
started Danny Coyle Superchargers, right? Next thing you know, the very fucking next season, there was a line out the goddamn door in the Lower Haight in San Francisco where you couldn't get a seat anywhere, standing room only. It was fucking packed with Charger fans.
oh
Packed.
my God. That's amazing.
Where it was so packed that we said, "Fuck that! We'll rather go to another bar that doesn't have it." It's too crazy.
It
Yeah, it was really
became
cool, and
quite
it's
a
still there
phenomenon. They would play the San Diego Superchargers song
after
in the
touchdowns,
system
after
after
any
touch.
any point.
You got it.
They
And then
went
like
from one bartender on a Sunday to three bartenders, two bar backs. There's a lot of, I grew up in Northern California. I'm going to go live in Southern California. A lot of
Yeah.
Southern Californians that are like, I lived in and grew up in Southern California. I want to go to school in Northern California. So there was quite a bit of, students there that were like, oh, I used to live in Pacific Beach, or I used to live by Del Cerro, but yada, yada. So there was this, now that we were able to kind of build this community around the Chargers, it grew really fast. The only thing that sucked, there was no Cali burritos outside in a fucking taco truck. And
Yeah, you can't
the
get your
Mexican
carne
food around
asada
there was
fries.
just,
Yeah.
the carne asada was not where it was. That was the only thing we didn't fix.
Yeah, but you know what, P? I bet you if it was an LA Chargers, like if we were in 2024 gonna try to start that same phenomenon at a bar to support LA Chargers, I don't
Would not.
know. There's no way
No,
you would see that in the Bay in San Francisco
no.
for an LA based team.
Yeah, they do. NorCal,
What's
SoCal like does kind of hate each other.
they do, they do. There's like, if you're SoCal, you're like pretentious and you need to be all in your makeup about everything. And
Yeah, and if you're
NorCal is like, oh, you're
NorCal,
so
you're
cool, tech and granola, it's
yeah,
this.
go hiking in your fucking North Face jacket.
Yeah, exactly. You know what's interesting is I'm curious to see how this fan base either returns from, San Diego now that Jim Harbaugh is there. I mean, Jim Harbaugh was a San Diego Chargers quarterback. Um,
Oh,
so
that
there's some
is true.
history. So not only that, he was San Diego Chargers quarterback for quite a few years. He also took the San Diego, the SDSU, the Aztecs. He was their program, the head coach for their program, and he brought them to a very high competitive level before he went and started coaching in the NFL.
Okay, this is a really good story. So Harbaugh being back as the head coach of the Chargers has so much meaning that could potentially, you're
Absolutely.
saying, reconvert the fans.
Let's see these fans are like now that they have Harbaugh back, and you have an impressive quarterback like Justin Herbert. You have the team starting to build this already in a winning season, or first season
Yeah.
back, as a free season as a head coach. I'm curious to see in 2, 3. He says this is the last team he wants to work for, and he's retiring. He has Justin Herbert is his last quarterback. He doesn't want to move away. He doesn't want to do anything. This is my end all be all team. See what that does to people's nostalgia, wanting to bring an old San Diego team back. And it's funny is there's Harbaugh's reaching out a lot to the San Diego community.
That's awesome. Okay, I really love this story. The Harbaugh brothers have always been like such a fascinating like dichotomy in football.
Hmm.
So I love that you're bringing up what could potentially be revived through his being there. We have a very important question for you. V, should I ask it?
Yes.
Yeah, hell yeah, girl, go for it.
Okay, so you've talked about football, you've talked about the Niners and the Chargers, but now you live in Vancouver and you've lived in NorCal, SoCal, or LoCal, as some people call
This
it, in
is
San Diego. What does your sports fandom look like now? What are you watching?
ooh, good question. It's hard to determine okay, first and foremost, football is my like number one sport that I like to watch. But I'm not actively going out every weekend to go and watch, the game because of my other obligations. Whenever it's available for me to watch, you can ask my wife, half-ass doing dinner and half-ass watching the Charger game. I'm like, just give it like 10 more minutes. And, 4 minutes in the NFL can be half an hour, and that takes a
Yeah.
long time. But I'm still
Meanwhile,
super engaged.
I'm getting videos of Naya like watching games and cheering people on.
She's the cutest. She's like, "Let's go Chargers!" Because that's when I'm
Yay!
like, "Yeah, let's go, let's go, let's go." I've always been a hockey fan. I'm a big time. I love the Warriors. I love basketball, so I do watch the Warriors. One thing that I wish got a little bit bigger, and it's they're a little bit more exposure, I guess, up here is lacrosse.
Where does
Yeah.
one watch? Is it like college lacrosse or there's
Oh no, there's
professional
a
lacrosse?
There's a
pro like
national, yeah, National League, NLL.
to me, it's the ultimate game. It's the most fun to play. It is a combination of football, basketball, rugby, soccer, boxing, the whole thing. It's got it
Boxing.
all. Yeah, because people
Just
stand up and fight. Like, well, in hockey, the inside the
yeah.
arena in the rink, they get a fight. Well, indoor lacrosse, same thing, but they're not on skates, so they can actually
If they
get
can
grip.
just do it. Oh wow.
Yeah, they can actually box, fight. So it's kind of got the whole shebang. I used to play lacrosse for many years, and it's such a beautiful sport. So I follow that. And another random fact about me is I freaking love motocross. I watch, who's on top, who are the battles, and what's the dirt on, the AMA motocross scene. That's kind of my little sports bubble is
Okay.
football, basketball, cross, hockey, motocross,
I
and
mean,
watching Naya try to do all of
yeah, she
them.
is. Wait, we like literally have never heard those two lacrosse and motocross. Wow, absolutely unique. Wait, I have to ask, who's your team for hockey?
Oh God, don't fuck this one up,
Yee.
babe. P, what are you trying to start in this household?
I guess it's the Colorado Avalanche. No, I'm just kidding. I'm
Oh,
just kidding.
okay.
Just kidding. Just relax, everybody. Calm it. Calm it. I'm a big fan of the Sharks because of our relationship to that, not only the city, but like what it was like to when Thornton and Pavelski and Burns, when well, the team was solid and they were
Mhm.
competing every season to either get into the playoffs or, get deep into the playoffs. That
Okay.
was when and V and I would go to games every year, like specifically into the rounds in LA. Would we fuck it up for us? I
I don't really
I
care for the
don't
Kings either.
Okay, but who's your
what team
team,
with
babe?
injuries.
Babe, who's your team? Babe,
Yeah,
who's your team?
it's got to still be the Sharks. I mean, it's the Sharks.
Okay. I think he's going with the best possible
That
answer
is
that
a very
Diplomatic
kumbaya,
response.
harmonious response.
yeah, I think
However,
that was wise.
I do love being in the city and rooting for the city, the team's sport. So like I do like the Vancouver Canucks. I do wish them well. I think the city's got a very cool energy when they're
God,
P, don't do that with your
we were
face.
so close, P. We were so
No, you know what? I
close.
respect. I respect. You're in the city. It's like it is
Yeah,
very
it's
intoxicating to be in a city when like their team is
everybody's all fired up,
everyone's
and
excited.
like
Yeah.
everybody's got some sort of funky like, comment to make or like excited, just pumped, and that's fun. It's fun.
Wow. That was ballsy and honest. Mad respect. We are so happy that you bounced off with us and concluded our two-part husband fan series.
We're gonna have to talk about this.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to talk about this later tonight, babe.
I'm
Oh,
trying
sure.
to get V's mind off of the Canucks right now.
Thanks, babe. Thanks for coming. You've riled me up a little bit. I'm not gonna lie at the end there, but we're good. I'm just gonna
Hey,
remove you from this.
get out of here. Hey, both of you.
Our husbands love us so much.
Oh my goodness. I mean, I thought he did until that.
I did not think he was gonna go there, but he like really wanted to say it, V. Like he went out of his way to rejoin. I like gave him a solid out, and he was like, "No, wait, let me
This
let me
is
come
like
back
what
in."
it's like in our relationship where I'm like, let's cut it off here, babe. Let's just leave the event right now. Where is this gonna go? Like, let's just go. Let's just go.
I mean, it's rough though because besides you, like his main tie to Canada is living in Vancouver.
Yes.
And
Yes.
we can see like there's such loyalty that he developed for the Chargers in his life in San Diego. So it makes sense, but he
You
created a
know,
bit of a monster.
well, and it is a fair point. Like when you're in a city and they're in the World Series, the Stanley Cup Finals, the whatever, like there is a vibe in the city where everyone's out and about and the flags and the jerseys and you see that and we did see that. I think the thing he probably is kindly avoiding saying is that it was very entertaining for him to see me wear my Oilers jersey and to yell back at the Canucks fans while they were all like, "Let's go Canucks." And I was like, "Let's go Oilers." And I'd just be such an asshole,
Just like on the street.
just like on the street all the time. It happens on the street, Pete. Like it'd be like game day, and you could see people are headed to the sports bars, and there's a lot of action, and cars are parking and whatever. And we live by like a really like a main street with a bunch of bars. I
And
made my
you're just like, I'm about to start a parking lot fight.
yeah, and then people would hear like "Let's go Oilers," and you hear them go, "Huh? Huh? Where did this chick come from?" And
She
I
came
live
from Edmonton,
yes,
folks.
and I live for that reaction so much. Like, what this brown girl fucking what?
God, you got balls. You and Berto, you're just like out balling each other.
Well, actually, what was interesting to hear, P, is okay. So I've been able to see and witness Berto's fandom. He does still every Sunday, if there's a Chargers game, he puts on a Chargers jersey. He's wearing his Chargers beanie and he gets
Oh my
in
God.
gear for his games. Like that really has not changed, even though they've moved to LA. I think the unique thing that he maybe isn't making so explicit is he was already a fan who was quite aware of the dynamics of the NFL, the business of the NFL. So it wasn't like some bubble was popped for him when he realized they were chasing the dollar.
Yeah.
Whereas I think for some fans, when it did pop some bubble, there was a real like fuck you, I'm not going to be a fan of this team anymore.
Yeah, it did kind of seem like with the whole Raiders thing, that was the first time the conversation felt really mainstream about that because like the move to Vegas is so symbolic because Vegas is like a money town and there wasn't an existing fan base and it's kind of like who lives in Vegas?
Who lives in
Who's gonna
Vegas? And
but
they've done
now a
incredibly
lot of people,
well.
yeah. Hmm.
Like interestingly, I'd say the sports in Vegas have grown in the way that the city has grown and diversified
Yes.
as well and become
Yes.
younger and more affordable and whatever. So that's not something
Yeah.
they can control for. I just think it really is quite
It
lucky.
coincided very fortunately. Well, V, what are you currently obsessed with?
I'm going to play you a sound, P, and I
Okay.
just want you to tell me, what does this remind you of? What does it bring up for you?
Okay. I'm
Just
nervous.
very,
And
don't be
and
nervous.
excited. No, I'm excited. I'm excited.
Okay, don't be nervous at all. Truly, like, don't be nervous. Okay.
There's like 5 sounds I'm anticipating.
Okay. Now I want to know what those five are. Okay, here we go.
Is that
Okay.
like a kitschy doorbell that gets the Christmas tune set to it?
Yeah, okay. Does that not remind you of like 90s Christmas light bulb, like Christmas ornaments that used to
Yeah,
play
that
those
used to play the yes,
sounds?
yes, yes, that you used to get for free at Carl's Jr. with a Happy Meal.
Wow, it wasn't that specific about the meal piece. Okay, there's a reason why I'm
That
playing you
yes.
that, and that's because 90s nostalgic Christmas decor is coming back. As in, like, people are trying to dig up like the big bows and the oversized decorations and the big bold colors and the tinsel, the cheesy ass tinsel.
Wait, shut up.
Like it's making a huge comeback. Sales are huge this year.
Wait, like you're seeing it like in retail stores, is what you're saying.
Yeah, seeing retail stores, it's being reported on in the news of just like how much this is happening in terms of surprise sales. There was
Wow.
a study done in the UK on parents, and they were saying that out of a survey of 2,000 parents, 8 in 10, like moms and dads, said they're gonna buy their kid like a retro 90s toy this year. Care Bears, Tetris, slime, Hello Kitty.
Tamagotchi.
Yeah. Can you keep it alive? Legitimately, like there's this really big 90s nostalgia drive that's happening with Christmas decor this year.
Dude, V, we always had the tackiest fucking tree because it was like all these fucking free ornaments that we used to get from whatever the fuck Happy Meal and then like flashing lights. And then like as I grew up, I used to be like ashamed that we didn't like create a classier tree because everybody's trees are so like gold and beautiful. But then I did see like this design guy on Instagram who was like, fuck those trees. I like to see color and personality on a tree. I don't want to see a monochromatic white gold tree. And I was like,
Yes.
oh, wow. Okay. I feel validated.
I am so with that. I don't know how we got to this whole like neutral taupe off-white. This needs to
Yeah.
be every like
It's like millennial minimalism because we're all reacting to like the tackiness of our youth. But
like
now I think we're all like, why did we do that?
yeah, why are we so minimalist? Like who are we trying to And it's just classic because like capitalism is like selling us our childhood back, you
And
know?
it's very effective, I have to say.
And it's working. Like as soon as I heard that sound, I was like, "Oh my God." I used to love turning that one
You
light on that we
press it.
had that also
Yeah.
yeah. We
It's
had
like, why isn't it going?
and it was we also yeah, like tacky is probably the word. Just the wildest decor. We also had my mom loved bows, big bows. We had so many red bows.
Or like every macaroni encrusted ornament you made in kindergarten.
It does, of course, it does bring up fun memories. And then lo and behold, of course, they're telling us we're all just like really sad, I think, right now, and
Yeah,
just
I
need
know.
some need some nostalgia in our Christmas.
The thing about like making fun of millennial nostalgia and like our need for it, it's a thing, but I think you just said like it is because millennials have just been sad their whole lives. Like we've had a rough go of it,
Had
man.
a rough fucking go. We deserve this shit. And don't
Yeah.
sell the 90s decor back to me at 2024 prices. Like that, I
Mm-mm.
would really appreciate some 1994 prices. All right, P, tell me,
Love that.
what are you
Um,
obsessed with this week, P?
Mine is also sort of musical, and it's because today is Spotify Wrapped Day.
Oh, God. I haven't looked at mine yet. I haven't looked. I'm terrible. Listen, I'm a parent. Like, I'm gonna have fucking Bluey soundtrack on this shit. It's gonna be
No.
shot to hell. But wait, tell me about your Spotify Wrapped.
It's so cool because it's like in April, your favorite genre was techno house music. And it was because I'd gone to Coachella in April and I was so obsessed that I was just trying to like relive everything that I was listening to and just doing it ad nauseum. And then in May, it was like your number one song was Post Malone's Wow, and it started on May 8th and you listened to it 24 times. And on May 8th, we saw him perform at the Hollywood Bowl at Seth Rogen's thing. And I was like, oh, fuck, that song is so good. I forgot about that song. And then I just listened to it. So it was like kind of like the Wrapped this year more than any other year, I think brought me back through the journey of the year itself. And like,
Oh,
oh, my number one artist though, V,
oh God,
get ready. Speaking of 90s nostalgia,
tell me.
Enya.
No, would not have guessed that shit in a what?
I go through Enya phases, and it was like in August, you listened to a lot of Enya. I was like, I did, in fact, because I went into an Enya phase. And I just like was listening to all, and then because I was revisiting all of those songs that V, you know them from the Pure Moods commercial.
This is just not. I feel like last week I learned about like this like new motorsports thing you're into, and then I'm hearing Enya, and like my brain is having a really hard time integrating these things about you.
I know there's this other joke about millennials that like we are now so into like adult contempo, but I think it's because we grew up on adult contempo, on like Michael Bolton and Rod Stewart and
Yeah.
fucking Enya. It does feel really nostalgic to listen to Enya. She also did songs for the Lord of the Rings soundtrack, so it's, part of that world.
Fair. This checks
So
out. I just
yeah.
looked at my top 5 artists actually.
Okay, tell me.
Okay, number 1 is John Batiste.
Okay, that's respectable. He was
Which
at
is
Coachella too.
he was, and 100%, I would say he is the artist in this household that we listen to the most this year. Like, my partner loves him, my kid loves him. We were listening to him in the car, and he's just got good vibes. And number 2
Janet.
is Janet.
Oh
She
gosh,
makes,
she's still in your top five every
girl,
year.
she makes top 5 every year. Like,
Janet was in my top five last year because we went to her concert.
oh my gosh, it's like your yearbook. It really is. Like,
Yeah.
that's
It's
awesome.
like the music that I saw live is usually what informs my taste for like the next month, and I'm just obsessed.
I just want to say I'm really proud of you for coming clean about the Enya thing because you could easily.
No, dude, love justice for Enya. Like, don't shit on that shit.
Is that
I
a
am
move? Is that
I don't know, like I'm unabashedly proud to be an Enya fan. I was like in the top 04% of like listeners.
That's fucking awesome, Pete. I'm really proud of you, is maybe what I want to say.
I'm gonna like send you a playlist and you're gonna understand.
Oh fuck. You know what? But I feel like you have to be in a mood, right? Like Enya starts at
No, Enya will put you in the mood.
oh shit. Great. I did not think I'd walk out of this with an Enya playlist curated, but I will fucking take one. 100%.
I got you.
So proud of you, Pete.